Did you hear about the king who used the D word?
What? Is this some sort of joke? You said if I came you would give me cake.
Cake later. Do you know who Mervyn King is?
Yes, he is the leader of the Banks of England.
Correct. In a recent interview he said that the UK was in a depression.
Depression? Unless a depression is made of cake, then I don't care.
Listen, this is important. The king has said publicly that the UK people need to take a cut in their standard of living.
You mean no more cake?
Correct. Along with the Labour and Conservative governments, the king has devalued the pound by over 40% when priced in real money like gold. This means everyone in the UK will need to pay more and more for day-to-day items like food and power.
Why would you price anything in gold? Isn't it just a lump of metal?
Gold is a store of value. It's used as an alternative to central banks' paper money and shows that the pound continues to get weaker. It's also very pretty.
Okay, so gold is pretty. Do you have a point?
Yes. The king and the governments over the past 10 years have experimented on the UK economy like it was a toy. Now that they have broken it, the king and the expenses thieves say that the people need to reduce their standard of living.
How did they break it?
After the dot-com bubble in 2000, the king reduced the interest rate at the Banks of England, making money cheaper to borrow.
This was good? More money means more cake?
With almost unlimited cheap money flooding the banks, they began to make increasingly risky loans.
I was one of those people. The banks sent me a credit card which I added to my collection from all the other banks, department stores, credit card companies, catalogs, internet sites and emails from Nigerian princes.
Yes. Customers thought credit was always going to be easy to get, so they kept going deeper into debt using loans, credit cards and mortgages. By 2008, the bubble in credit was so big it threatened the entire world's economy.
Was there anyone whose job it was to stop the banks?
Yes.
Good.
But they didn't stop them.
What? I am not allowed to take a nail file on a plane in case I threaten to give the pilot a manicure. Why would they not stop something so dangerous?
Because the leaders and employees of the FSA and the governments didn't want the banks to stop making huge profits and lending money to people. It looked like the UK was becoming more prosperous, which proved to be untrue in 2008.
So, the people we elected to governments and the people at the FSA failed to protect the people of the UK from the banks?
Yes. The people at the FSA and the governments had lots of warning that the housing bubble was going to burst. They were also told it couldn't last forever and that a large part of the United States housing market was fraudulent.
So what happened to the elected officials in the red and blue camps who helped cause all of this? Did they all get thrown out of office?
No. Because no one told the public the truth, the government simply continued as normal.
Where are they now?
The politicians who were smart enough not to get caught cheating on their expenses either retired with their full benefits and pensions or got re-elected.
This is crazy. The FSA staff, they were all fired?
A few people were asked to leave the FSA with their bonus and pensions intact. Then some of the FSA powers were given to the Banks of England.
Are you serious? The Banks of England knew that cheap money would make a dangerous bubble but did it anyway. Why did they get more power?
Because the governments don't understand economics and the politicians' economic advisors believe that the answer to everything is even more cheap money. So they give the Banks of England as much power as they need to make sure money is always available.
It is lucky the banks all went bankrupt because of their losses on my credit cards. And the heads of the banks are in jail for fraud and lying to investors.
No. The banks got billions of pounds from the taxpayers to offset the losses and billions more in easy money via quantitative easing.
Sorry. I misheard you. Ha, I thought you said billions with a B.
Yes.
What? Have we fallen down a rabbit hole? It is lucky that the British people demanded the king be thrown out of his job for making money so easy for so long.
The king is still the king of the Banks of England and he has lowered the interest rate to all-time lows. Money is almost free to those who can borrow it.
Well, maybe this king isn't a bad person. Now people who are hit in the recession can borrow money cheap from the banks of England while they get their finances in order.
No. The banks of England only lend money to the retail banks, and the retail banks charge about 800% more interest for mortgages and 3,600% more for credit cards than what they borrow the money at.
I think I am going crazy. Did you put something in my cake? Wait, did I even have some cake? The logic part of my brain just gave up and went on holiday. What is going to happen next?
The retail banks, along with the banks of England and the governments, are going to try and pretend that everything is okay and say that austerity can get us out of the ditch we are in.
It can't?
No. We have driven into this monetary ditch because of bad economic policy. The government's response has been to keep their foot on the accelerator and drive us deeper into debt. Meanwhile, the retail banks and the king's solution to the problem of one car stuck in the ditch is to drive another few cars into the ditch.
Those sound like bad solutions.
Yes.
Is there a solution?
Yes, but it is not an easy one.
What is it?
I will tell you next time. For now it is important to understand how we got here and to keep your eyes and ears open for more spin and untruths from the peoples who claim to look out for you. You should also learn how to protect yourself, your family and your friends from the continuing weakening of the pound by visiting zerohedge.com or kingworldnews.com.
Cake now?
Yes. But first we must get tea, so we can have tea and cake.
Can we complain about the weather when drinking our tea and eating our cake?
Of course. We are British after all.